Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. My name's Noelle and I review and unbox subscription boxes here on my channel, and today I have another Once Upon a Book Club adult selection to share with you. This is actually the January 2023 box, so that means I'm pretty current on this one. Now, I had been getting Once Upon a Book Club for quite some time. I went ahead and put my subscription on pause back in February of 2022 because I needed to get caught up on all my book boxes. You have seen it here on the channel a couple of times anyway because they are kind enough to send out some PR boxes to their VIPs every once in a while. So whenever that opportunity arises, I definitely say that I would love to receive the book if it's one of the genres that I really like. But I did decide that I had enough referral credits that I would go ahead and resubscribe, which I'm very glad that I did because they have very limited adult boxes these days. Sometimes you have to be on the wait list for the upcoming title. What's really nice though is that once you are on the subscription list, then you can always skip if it's a title where the hint doesn't sound like something that you want to read. But I'm very excited to be back on track with Once Upon a Book Club, and I will be getting it at least for the next 3 months. So hopefully I will continue to be able to share them with you at a pretty reasonable rate. So it is $49.99. That does include domestic shipping, but I do have a code and a link for you. My code is simply Noelle10. That'll save you 10%, and you can definitely check out all of the fun boxes they have. They now have a middle grader box as well, which I think is really cool, as well as their adult and young adult monthly boxes. They do some limited edition boxes as well, especially around the holidays, which I think are really fun. But I'm going to see if I can stay up to date with the monthly boxes in addition to all my other book boxes as well. So when you get the box, it looks like this, sometimes different sizes. They had some kind of bigger, wider, flatter items this time around, so it's kind of a narrow or shorter box, I guess you could say. And then inside you're going to get, of course, the book. Sometimes it's a hardcover, sometimes it is a paperback, sometimes we get a signed book plate as we did with this one. And then here is our book club kit, which is a nice little pamphlet. Inside they usually have an interview with the author, as they did for this one, some discussion questions, and book club read-along dates that go along with the different gifts that are inside, because of course this is one of those subscriptions where as you are reading along, you'll come across a page with a sticky note on it that tells you to open the corresponding gift as a way of bringing the novel to life. On the back here, there's usually something fun that kind of goes along with the theme or the subject of the book. So in this case, it is a map of America's haunted hotels. There we go. So you can definitely stay in some of them. The one that's closest to me is the Hollywood Roosevelt in California, which I am not really into the paranormal, but I think it's just because it kind of freaks me out. So I'm probably not going to do that. But I did think that it was kind of nice. In addition to your book club kit, and the way they do this is they always do a hint ahead of time. You can usually kind of figure out what the book is, but they do hints ahead of time. So they have a theme for the book box. This time it was Mystery at the Grand Hotel, but the actual title was Her Sister's Death. So we have this beautiful edition. It is a hardcover, so that is the book jacket. You can see it's very like Art Deco style. Look how gorgeous the actual cover is with this engraved or embossed gold, which I thought was really, really lovely. And like I said, they did give us a signed book plate. That's always kind of a nice addition. And I don't mind, I guess, that it has the Once Upon a Book Club as the border on that. We also usually get our nice Once Upon a Book Club bookmark, which just kind of gives you a little quote. It says, "May she be forever loved for who she is." That usually matches up with the 5x7 quote card, which is also a feature of all Once Upon a Book Club boxes. But they gave us an extra. You can see that shiny tassel. They gave us an extra one this time around. So let me find this lovely key, which they did actually go ahead and put into the book because it is very delicate. It's like cut out of paper with this nice tassel. So I did think that was a nice addition. I didn't actually use that when I was reading through. Every once in a while, they'll have like a little extra like piece of paper or something that kind of goes along. I don't usually, I like using the royal we, I don't usually count those paper gifts as actual gifts. There's usually 3 to 5 of them. Lately, I will say that Once Upon a Book Club has been better about higher quality gifts that you can use in your daily life. I honestly really enjoyed this book. It was a mystery. There was a hint of the paranormal, which I didn't actually mind. However, the quality of the gifts was good, but they weren't necessarily gifts that I will use a lot. So we'll talk about that a little bit more as we go through. But if you haven't read this already, I don't think there's any like major spoilers, but you might want to hold off on watching this video until you get around to it. So here is, of course, our matching quote card that says that same thing. May she be forever loved for who she is. So I love all the black and the gold and the Art Deco vibes to it. The dead tell no tales until they do. It sounds like a Keith Morrison, like the beginning of a Dateline, doesn't it? All right, so let me read the inside jacket for you so you get a sense of what this book is all about, and then we will get into the passages and the actual gifts. There were just 3, like I said, this time. She wanted the truth. She should have known better. When her sister is found dead in a Baltimore hotel room, reporter Val Ritter's world is turned upside down. An empty pill bottle at the scene leads the police to believe the cause of death is suicide. With little more than her own conviction, Val teams up with Terry Martin, a retired detective who has his own personal interest in the case, to prove that something more sinister is possible. In 1921, Bridget Wallace, a guest on the brink of womanhood, is getting ready to marry an eligible older man. But what seems like a comfortable match soon takes a dark turn. Does the illustrious history of the stately Franklin Hotel hide another lesser-known history of death? So it's in alternating timelines with similar themes. Look at those gilt edges on the pages. So I did really enjoy it. So on the back, we do have a note from the author, so maybe I'll go ahead and read that to you. It says, first, allow me to thank you for going on this journey with Val, Terry, Bridget, and me. As with any book I write, it's my goal to take you to a place that is outside of where you are, even if only for a short time. I must confess, her sister's death is a slight departure for me. My previously published books have been police procedurals, and my short stories have been female-centric and crime-related, like this one, but all were in their genre lane. With the suspense, her sister's death, I took a very tiny, very baby step into the world of the paranormal. As a reader, I'm a fan of multiple genres, and I like the idea of blending genres, even if only in the smallest of ways. I hope you like that too. My hint at the paranormal is not the only thing that's different about this book. Along with the modern day story featuring Val and Terry, I've also walked back in time with Bridget and hopefully brought a little of 1921 to life for you. It can be a challenge to present the past in a way that gives the reader a true sense of the time, the place, and the people, but Bridget, Margaret, and Lawrence are imbued with as much of that as I could put into them. Of course, a lot of my research didn't make it into the book, but that's the nature of the job. Either way, I've been fascinated by that period in history for many reasons, and as a writer, it was fun to hop between time periods. In addition to an alternating timeline, her sister's death features multiple narrators. Often, authors are asked if a character is based on someone they know in real life. While I can't say yes, and doubt I ever will, I do include real characteristics, stories, and experiences as shared with me by friends and family. For example, in chapter 13, Val remembers that a teacher once called her bossy. That is a real-life story, sort of. One of my closest friends is a take-charge woman, in a positive way, and she often relates the story of how an elementary school teacher described her as bossy at a parent-teacher conference. Obviously, one could discount this, but my friend has embraced it, lived it, and tells the story in a humorous way. It's always stuck in my memory, and when I was writing Val, I knew I had to use it. Val is not based on my friend, but in this case, they do share a characteristic. Val's bossiness sometimes gets her in trouble, though, and that part is fiction, as far as I know anyway. Thank you again for reading and taking this journey with me. I sincerely hope you enjoy the ride and will come on another with me someday. As an author, I'm always thrilled to hear from readers, so please don't hesitate to let me know your thoughts. Lastly, allow me to wish you a wonderful new year and all the best in 2023. So I love that element of getting to hear from the writer that Once Upon a Book Club, being such a big subscription company, is able to facilitate for us. So our first gift comes on page 81, and this is what the sticky note looks like. So let me see if I can remember what the gift is. So this is Val. So says, Terry pushes the calendar across the countertop and taps one of the blocks on the page, a Saturday 2 weeks before Sylvia died. Do you see what I mean? He reads the entry out loud. SM, 7 o'clock. He points out another date, this time a Monday, SM, noon. I barely listen, entranced instead by the smiley face my sticker has drawn next to the initials. My hand trembles as I reach out to take the calendar. So it's like her day planner more so, I think, than a calendar, but this is what we got. As always, beautiful wrapping. It says page 81, and it was just like wrapping paper, but I did try to kind of keep it intact so that I could show it to you. And then this lovely calendar, which came inside, was actually in a plastic sleeve, but I've removed it. So Once Upon a Book Club created this calendar with Art Deco images. So it's Art Deco 2023 calendar. Of course, it did come for the January box. So this is one where I'm really glad that I was up to date, because if I had a stack of book boxes boxes, and I didn't get around to this one until like late in the year. This would be kind of a bummer to be opening it up, although the images are lovely. It does have kind of like slick pages, so you can kind of see. So if you wanted to, you could, you know, tear these out and frame any of the ones that you like, or even use them as wrapping paper. I used to do that with calendars when they had the bigger images, as I would go ahead and use them as wrapping paper for like jewelry boxes, etc. But beautiful images that they must have just procured, that there were no like sort of copyright issues with, that they went ahead and put into this lovely wall calendar. So I don't actually have a wall calendar. I've gotten a few in different boxes, but I haven't decided which one to use. This is for the month of August, which is my birthday month, so I was curious to see that one. But I do think this is a nice item. Again, it's just one of those things where it's like you want to open this box in a timely fashion, and if you didn't get around to it until later, you might be a little bit disappointed to find this, even though the images are lovely. So I feel like they could have done like a day planner, like made it look like a day planner, but really, you know, it was just a notebook that had like an Art Deco image on the front. All right, let's go ahead and see what our next one was. Now, I will say that we had most of our gifts were in the first half of the book, because the book was, I think, a little over 300 pages. Yeah, 314 pages. And our gifts came on page 81, 108, and 131. So like we got all of our gifts in the first half of the book, and then we had no gifts at the end, which usually I like them to be a little bit more evenly spaced as inspiration to keep on reading. In this case, there was enough mystery that I was compelled to keep reading, and I did enjoy it quite a bit. I could see this being a pretty good movie too. All right, so you can see sometimes they actually have little half sticky notes, but this one, it looks like they just sliced it in half because maybe they don't have the little skinny ones in stock right now. So let me see if I remember what this one is. Okay, so let me see. They are, okay, I'm trying to see what time period this is in. This is Val again. Okay, so it says, at the desk, the clerk hands Terry an envelope. Inside is a note and a card key. Terry reads the note, then stuffs it in his pocket. What's it say? Room number. So Terry happens to know the security guy at the hotel, so they're able to gain access to some stuff so they can start to prove their theory. In the elevator, he pushes the button. 14. I step closer. The numbers skip from 12 to 14. I know this trick, one that's common during renovations of old buildings in hotels like this one. Sometimes they use 12A and 12B or some other nonsense, but I'm not fooled. It doesn't matter what you call the floor, it's still number 13. The doors slide open and I follow him down the hall. Is this it? I asked. There's no crime scene tape or extra lock, nothing to keep someone from entering other than a single do not enter sign hanging from the door. He holds up the key. Yep. I thought you said it was sealed. Figure of speech. Bullshit. If they were treating this like a potential homicide, there would be tape. It would be sealed. Not necessarily. It's locked to guests. Staff have been instructed to stay out. There's no reason for tape. So we got this giant box. This is the reason that we had the kind of big flat pink box. So this is an item. It's actually very nice. It's just something that I personally won't use. So I'm kind of being hard on the box. Just because we have gotten some really great quality items, it's just not my kind of thing. It's a lovely wood sign that says, do not enter, recovering from a book hangover. So it's got this nice twine hanger, and you can see they've actually cut out the letters. So they're actually raised. Can you see that? So quite a bit of craftsmanship. It's just really big. It's like probably 12 inches in diameter, if not bigger. It's like the size of a pizza. It's just a little like cutesy and like, you know, farmhouse, like rustic with this burlap bow and then the gingham bow. It's that, like, that part is just not me. I could have gone with just a do not enter sign in this nice deco font. It didn't need to be made into a bookish sign personally that says, you know, recovering from a book hangover. Also, like, you might like not even want the word hangover on signage in your house, even though it's a book hangover and kind of different, but you might not want that like illusion. I am really impressed though, because these are, I think, yeah, these are actually wood letters, and like, look how thin the scroll work on that is. Really impressive. But I would have loved just a simple do not enter sign, you know, just like a rectangular one without the bow that you could have made you know, this is just a little bit more plain, a little bit more contemporary, and not like a certain decor style the way this is. I'm not like big on signs, but like a simple do not enter sign could be totally useful. Or even just one that you could hang on the door, like sort of hotel style, like the one on the cover could have been cool, but like in wood. So again, I like the craftsmanship. The quality is great just in terms of being universally usable. Also, just the size of it, it's really big. Like you would have to have a nail on your door that you would hang this from sometimes. And then like you don't have anything on the back. So like maybe a chalkboard that had do not enter on one side where you could flip it and it said something else. It's just the actual usability of it for me in my household is pretty small, even though I do think the quality is very nice. So that was my thought on that, but it does make sense for the passage in the book. And then, of course, we have one final gift. This one is a lot smaller. This one came on page 131. So let me find that page. It was just a few pages later. Oh, we did also get, like I said, we do sometimes get some fun paper gifts inside. So we got this runaway sticker. So I would have been fine with like a do not enter like sign, kind of like that, which was just a little bit bigger than that, but the same thing. So that was of course, this is in the past timeline where someone was telling her to run away from her future husband because it was his ex-wife who did not fare well. So I thought that was a cute little insert. But like, where would you put a sticker that says run away? Like, where would you put that? All right, so on page 131, let me see if I remember what this gift was. Oh, okay. So again, we're still really early. Like I still have like the last half of the story in my brain. It says, I rack my brain. It's a good question, and then I have it. I snap my fingers. Easy. He followed her when she left her house. Why? To see if she was meeting her boyfriend before she supposedly went out of town, or maybe to find out if the boyfriend was going with her. Either or both. He picks up a paperclip and twists it into something unrecognizable. The timing is possible. Your sister checked in before 6, giving him plenty of time to get back and pick up the kids by 6:30. Exactly. Terry, though, isn't satisfied. So they are trying to figure it out, and Val really, really thinks that it is her sister's estranged husband that has done this because he's got a new girlfriend and everything. So she is trying to do everything she can to point the finger at him actually killing her sister versus her sister committing suicide. So here's the little bag that we got, which has page 131 printed on it. Would have been cuter without the page number. All right. This is cute though. So it's book paper clips. So it came in what looks like a little matchbox, and it does actually have the quote from the other side. It says he picks up a paper clip and twists it into something unrecognizable. And then inside, of course, we have some paper clips, which, you know, these are very usable. We have them in gold and rose gold, and these are pretty cute. So I thought this was really sweet. They're the same. So I'll see if I can get it to show up. I'm trying to see what I can put it against so you guys can really see it. So here it is. See, it's an open book with that little kind of a heart that's keeping it open. Let me see. Maybe it'll show up better against this. Can you guys see that? It's super cute. Let's see. We've got, so the paper clip in the front of it that goes down the center of it is sort of like lifted off of the, so you can see there's a little bit of dimension there, so it's not going to squish the pages so much. So that's what I really like, when the wires aren't all on the same plane. There's actually a little bit of lift, so you can see that paperclip actually goes over the bottom edge of the book, so it's not going to squish your pages as much or make a mark. So you probably could actually use these as a bookmark without too much damage to the pages. So I'm not sure how many we got. It looks like maybe we got 5 in each color or 4 in each color, but I thought they were really sweet. It's like a bookmark paper clip. So I thought those were cute. So for me, that was like a great gift. It was a little bit smaller, like, you know, like lesser value, definitely useful or regiftable as well. Again, I think the calendar is nice. I do like that. It's just the timeliness of it could be tricky if you, like, you know, if you're watching this, go ahead and open up your book box so that you can get into that calendar so that you're not opening it like in October. And then finally, I feel like this is supposed to be kind of like the hero item. It's sort of a bookish gift. I didn't need the bookish part of it. A simple do not enter sign might have been nice. The quality is very lovely. It's just that it's very kind of cutesy with the bows, and it's just very big. Like, I just don't need a sign quite this big in my house, because you guys know I have a very small house. I don't have like a special reading room where I can recover from my book hangover. But you guys let me know in the comments below what you thought about it. If you read this book, if you enjoyed it. It did have some twists and turns. There were a couple red herrings. I had my suspicions, but you know, I really loved the alternating timelines. I did really love the 1921 timeline a lot, and I thought it was a great book, and I thought that the quality of this edition and all the little extras were really fun and sweet. I hope you all enjoyed the video, and I'll see you all very, very soon in my next unboxing.